Hello, and welcome to the Majors of the Month series. My name is Emily Long, Senior Career Advisor at High Point University. This series is dedicated to helping you explore and understand what you can do with the various majors HPU offers. Each month, a different major will be highlighted, and we'll host a panel including a faculty member, employer, and career and professional development team member to discuss aspects of the major. The major of this month is accounting. And today we'll be speaking with Professor Scott Davis, Associate Professor of Accounting at HPU, and Jeremy Hyatt, CPA and Insurance Director at Smith Leonard, about what you can do as an accounting major. Within the accounting field, there are various avenues you can pursue. Two major areas are corporate accounting and public accounting, which includes assurance services, external auditing, personal financial planning, tax accounting, and many others. There are also opportunities to work within government, nonprofit, and education. Be sure to utilize the What Can I Do with This Major link at the end of this panel discussion to further explore your options as an accounting major. So let's get started. Professor Davis, I'll have you introduce yourself briefly for us.
Okay, well, thank you, Emily, for hosting us today. I'm Scott Davis, as already been shared. I'm an associate professor of accounting, and I have been serving at High Point University for 4 decades and 2 centuries. It's been a long time. That actually translates into 1995 is when I first started.
Wow, that's great. Well, thank you so much for being here. We're honored. And Jeremy, could you introduce yourself for us, please?
Yes, well, thank you, Emily, and great to see you again, Professor Davis.
Yes.
So I'm Jeremy Hyatt. I'm an Assurance Director with Smith Leonard. I'm a proud High Point University alum, class of 2010, double majored in both accounting and finance, and now I'm in public practice with a firm.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy. We appreciate you being here so much, and we're excited to learn a little bit more about what we can do with the accounting major. And I'm going to start our first question with Professor Davis and ask, why is it great to be an accounting major?
Oh, that's such a loaded question. But in preparation for this, I did a little market research and surveyed some students that are taking classes with me in the current accounting faculty. So I want to be transparent that this is a consensus response, not just what I think. But we came up with about 5 or 6 things that themes that were consistent across the major. The first is the lifetime application of accounting, not just professional development, but also financial literacy. As you mentioned in your introduction, tax, investments, a lot of ththings that deal with money. And regardless of who you are, money's always something that we're concerned with. So you get a great grounding in that. We also have a wonderful community within the School of Business where accounting is housed. You will see our students form each year a group because they're taking the same classes and working on the same projects, and they become very close-knit. But they also, we were very connected intergenerationally, such as with having Jeremy with us today. Jeremy graduated in 2010, and yet he's here today, and he's done amazing things in the High Point community. And so we have this connection that goes beyond just, okay, I took some classes, I got some knowledge and things like that. We also have a Meet the Firms event. And when I walked into that, it's in September each year, the room on the recruiter side was probably about 33% full of HPU graduates from accounting. So they come back, we recruit, we pay it forward. And I think that just, if you like a sense of community, the accounting major offers that. It's a versatile degree. You don't have to do accounting for your career. That's a great start, but you can do a lot with it. You kind of reference some of that with governmental accounting, a lot of different jobs. But an interesting, one of our grads at one time was the associate registrar at the university. And we've talked many times about the skill sets that go from transfer from accounting to that type of work. So the skill sets accounting give you are transferable to jobs well beyond what you would do as a classic accounting. And then last, there's, let's face it, you come part of what we do here is career preparation, and accounting as an undergrad degree has one of the highest career ROIs. When you look at what you invest in your degree and what your lifetime earnings potential is, we're near the top of anything you can do with just a straightforward undergrad degree. So there are a lot of reasons to major in accounting that go beyond just, hey, I like doing puzzles and solving problems.
great. That's great. Thank you so much. So I heard a lot of great reasons to be an accounting major there. A few of those were community, the versatility of the major, and your investment, return on investment. No pun intended there. So thank you.
Oh, that was my design. Yes, that was intended.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, Jeremy, my next question is for you. Can you tell us, why do employers like to hire accounting majors?
Certainly. Well, that's such a broad question, Emily, and certainly very applicable. Accounting is the language of business. Professor Davis told us that very early on within our accounting careers on campus. And, accounting is applicable to every organization, whether it's a not-for-profit, a governmental, just like what Professor Davis mentioned, as well as certainly for-profit organizations. Within public practice, we're able to work with the vast majority of clients of all walks of life, whether it be individuals or small businesses or all the way up to the large publicly held companies that we're able to assist. So really, accounting enables you to communicate and work with, all companies and shapes and sizes, all the way down to the personal individual tax returns, as well as all the way to the large, complex, consolidated international companies that have financial statements issued. So it really provides a vast amount of knowledge and allows the opportunity to do multiple avenues.
Great, thank you so much. So we all need accountants. So that's a great reason why employers like to hire accounting majors. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And my next question is for both of you. I'll have Professor Davis start with this one. What are some great things that our accounting majors can put on their resume?
Oh, wow. A lot of things. And the first I'll say is this, we get very focused on GPA. Well, if you're going to be successful in accounting, it's a given you're going to have a good GPA. We just seem to attract students who make good grades. So I'm going to set that aside. All right, that's kind of a given. That's a baseline. But a couple of things in talking with students and talking with folks like Jeremy, one is experience. It's one thing to study something, it's a whole other thing to be able to do it. And so we want our students to be grounded in practice as much as possible. So we're looking for them to do internships, of course, with the able assistance of your office. We have a volunteer income tax assistance class where they go out and do tax returns, real live tax returns for live people under an IRS sponsored program through the city of High Point. We do tutoring. We certainly encourage our students to go and pay it forward to other generations. So all types of experience there. Also, we're big on balance at High Point University, and we have Greek life. So a lot of our students get involved with that, and we encourage them to hold offices like treasurer or president, where they can take what they're learning and put it to work and see how it actually functions beyond just the classroom. The second thing is, we like to see documented skills. We're going to tell our students, it's one thing to say you can do it, but do you have external validation or affirmation of the skills you say you have, particularly technology skills in various software programs like Excel, SAP, those types of things. We also ask them to be able to demonstrate soft skills, because accounting is not just about crunching numbers, sitting in a dark room with an eye shade and a pocket protector and making your balance, staying in balance. So we're looking for those communication skills and contributions back to the community, because that's what they're going to be asked to do when they enter their professional lives. And so they might as well get started now. So we're trying to present the whole package for our students and encourage them to grab those. The third thing is we are preparing our students for entering into a profession, not just a job or a career. And so we ask them to be very aware of what our profession expects, certifications, career paths, all those types of things, so that they kind of know what they're getting into on the front end, because we think that's very important. And we also ask them, give them opportunities to participate in leadership and mentoring programs that a lot of the firms in the area run, where they get an introduction into what the profession looks like. And then our students tell us that it's very important that you don't just be a good test taker, that you not just be able to recite an answer, but you be able to explain the why as well as the how, because we do have a theoretical basis to what we do. And so that's important.
Yes, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Professor Davis. I think you covered it all there. High GPA, of course, experience, whether that's through classes, internships, or other types of experiences, the soft skills, the hard skills, leadership. So thank you so much.
Can I add this? Accountants need to be balanced.
Yes. Yes, that's great. Thank you. And Jeremy, I know, as an HPU a former accounting major yourself here at HPU, what are your thoughts on what our students should have on their resume, or maybe some things you had on your resume that helped you get your job?
Certainly. So as Professor Davis, indicated, there's a lot of opportunities on campus to get involved with various organizations, whether it be Greek life, various clubs and associations, and different things to distinguish yourself from other resumes and other students. Certainly all the better, being able to exhibit, those leadership qualities and have that portrayed through your resume. That's certainly number one. We often look at GPAs. However, it's not the end all be all. At the end of the day, that is just, ability to take a test. And that is important within the profession because so many go on to earn that CPA designation by sitting for the exam. And you're also able to kind of branch out and do other financial planning avenues as well as kind of add-ons in addition to your CPA license. So being able to distinguish yourself from others, being able to say, I took charge of my career, I was able to, go on and implement things on campus while I was a student there, as well as community involvement. Community involvement is something that is very big within our office, and being able to show those leadership qualities within the community that you want to give back, as Professor Davis was just saying, that certainly helps other students stand out.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I really like what you spoke about there about being able to articulate your experiences in your interviews and the involvement that you had. So thank you. And that leads in nicely to my last question. And Jeremy, I'll have you start us with this one. What is your best piece of advice for an accounting major at HPU?
Certainly. Well, I would encourage students within the accounting major at High Point to remember that their careers have already started. As Professor Davis told us multiple times as we were coming through classes, just how, the network that you're building on campus, that's what will help lay the foundation and project you forward into your career. So being able to develop those relationships, foster those, and certainly keeping in contact with former professors and other students in your classes, as well as any connections you make in the community.
Yes, I love that. Network is so important. Professor Davis, what would you say is your best piece of advice for our accounting majors?
Well, I've got about 5. Okay. I am a professor after all. I can be long-winded. First up is what Jeremy said. It's the first one on the list. And remember, this came from students and other faculty as well as myself, but I also was like, yeah, that would be at the top of my list, and that's build relationships, particularly with professors. Early on, start spending time, particularly with the accounting professors, exploring career options and just talking about life in general. The debit and credit stuff is going to be there. It's all that other stuff that rounds you into someone like a Jeremy Hyatt, who goes out and is so amazingly successful in their citizenship, their professional career, and everything that makes up a life of substance, which is what we're trying to help our students prepare themselves for. But if you want to just stay, if you're a person that wants to stay in your dorm room, accounting is not a good place for you because you're not going to be building good relationships. The second is get an organizer. You're going to be busy. We have a heavy workload in accounting because we are a very technical driven major. So you want time management is very important. And when you get out into your career, you're going to find out that folks like Jeremy are saying, okay, can I bill for your time? And so you have to be, got to learn to be productive and efficient. And so starting those habits of mind and developing those ways of approaching things, you do start that while you're in school. The third is always try and work from ahead. Don't wait. If you go, hey, I love to procrastinate, you're not going to do well with us because, we're a deadline driven profession. And so You don't want to wait till like 5 minutes before, because you're going to have a lot of more stress in your life. So you want to learn to work from ahead, not behind. You want to focus on skill acquisition, not your grades. Grades will come. If you do what you're supposed to do, the grades will be there. But skills are so very important. And so you really want to develop those and be able to document them and show that you have those. Ask questions. You need to be curious. And continuous learning. Our profession, every year Jeremy has to do 40 hours and I also have to do 40 hours of continuing professional education. So we call graduation commencement for a reason. And so it's important that you understand that continuous learning, like we're leaving for holiday break here shortly, at the time this video is being shot. I told all of our students, you may not be at school, but you're still in school. What are you doing over the break, right? To stay connected, to learn, to be curious. And then last but not least is accept and embrace the challenge that accounting as a major brings. There are a lot of good rewards. There's a lot of benefit, but you have to earn them. And so be willing to accept that.
That's great. Thank you so much. Those are all excellent pieces of advice. So I really appreciate you sharing that and the importance of organization, networking. I think all of that is so important. I know one thing that I learned today is that accountants must be balanced. So I appreciate that so much. So this concludes our panel for our Major of the Month, Accounting. So Professor Davis, Jeremy Hyatt, CPA, we thank you so much for being here with us today to share your expertise. And students, I would like to draw your attention to the links that you will see on your screen for what can I do with this major. You can continue exploring the accounting major and what you can do with that there. And we also encourage you to schedule an appointment with a career advisor in our office to continue exploring majors and what is a great fit for you. So thank you so much for joining us for Majors of the Month, and have a great day.
Thank you, Emily.
Thank you, Emily.